All right, welcome back. All my good men's and well, I don't know. I guess the listeners could be women's. I was just thinking about the people I've got on me, but we may have one or two out there. Um, but look, we have all four people on camera. It is a first time, possibly. I don't know. We may have done this before, but it's been a while. So we've got everybody here, all the sex appeal. So I'll remember to do this: like and subscribe and comment. I'm going to tell you now early in the video instead of waiting until the end when all of you've quit listening. Do it now. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you like the content. That's irrelevant. I want you to like it anyway to help me out in the algorithm. The quality of content is irrelevant in this calculation here. But yeah, so how are you guys doing? Menses, sexy menses that I get to come on the podcast with me.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Doing well. A little tired, but I'm here.
Good. Yeah, Brody's a hard-working man.
Another day.
Yeah, I woke up 2 o'clock this morning. That's what I do.
Great.
And then he goes works in the freezer all day.
No. I'm only in the refrigerator. I used to be in the freezer.
Oh, wow, that's
I
clearly
basically retired. I retired my job for my same job.
I'm proud of you. You moved from sub-zero temperatures to chilled temperatures.
I think it's 35.
The freezer or where you're at now?
Where I'm at now.
35. Well, there you go. You've gotten above freezing. Barely, but you have gotten above. I'm proud of you. I know Evil. You've been working all week, right, Evil? Every time you come home, you're like, I'm coming home from work. Just cleaning out some air conditioning ventilation.
He's gonna leave.
Sorry.
He does have a crossbow creature.
My neighbor right across from me.
Oh,
is driving a very loud car. Yeah.
You better stop right now. Oh my god.
Wow.
So he actually is an AC service tech.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. The joke I've been making for years now is starting to become more and more true. Well, yeah.
I was technically an HVAC technician.
What did you do? How? Like, explain. That was good data point. Now expand.
One of my friends from high school started his own small business as an HVAC technician, and he hired me on, mostly to help with his rental properties and whatnot, but I did do a couple installs. And it was a lot more complicated and more simple than you think it is. Basically, you get big tube, you run air through big tube, air stops going slow through big tube, so you make big tube, small tube, speeds air up. And
so now we're all qualified to be HVAC technicians.
Basically, yeah, I've qualified all of you.
I'm gonna put it on my resume, so you better,
same.
I just took my HVAC shirt off before I put this one on. So,
oh, you guys will love this one. The one I am smoking today is an EP Creo inch. I'm smoking an inch, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know that. No double entendre
nice
there.
Hat, preacher.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I have a gray one.
I like that.
I tried to get a new hat because I was like, I'm still going to wear the Liberty hat from that time to time, but I thought I gotta have more than one hat. Like I gotta at least have more than one. I gotta have like 2 or 3 hats at least.
A bit degenerate to just have the one.
Yeah. So I was like, I should probably. And I like this one. Merc and all that shit. So I guess I will get started doing the thing that I always do. Actually, me and Placebo were discussing something similar to this. Earlier this week, and it's more about how people have a I do think it is a growing issue. It is something that has developed. I mean, it's always been there, but it's developed more. How about that? Is a lack of a willingness to take accountability for one's actions, or the way things have turned out because of one's actions. I'm going to read you something that was from I believe it was a Twitter post, and somebody posted it, and then it somehow got into my feed. But anyway, it's a lovely lady, I'm sure. And it's an anime
Oh no.
profile
Oh,
pic.
No.
So I can't, But
No.
I have an ex-boyfriend. By the way, name seems real, so I'll just go with it. I have a ex-boyfriend. He was really the nicest guy I've ever met, and it took me this long to realize what a positive influence he left. I wasn't ready for him back then, as personal life drama made maintaining relationships impossible. I looked him up for the first time in 8 years, and now he's with a girl traveling to all the places that he and I talked about traveling. She is 12 years younger than him. Why do men do this? Yeah, that is the correct face. That is the correct face, Evil. Yeah.
I said as soon as he finished the story with me earlier, I was like, oh, so close. You were so close. And then at the end, it's like, whoa, how do you get that conclusion, right?
Like the like Matrix dodge of accountability right there was really impressive.
Yes, she towed the line about personal growth. She was so close.
Wow. Okay. You give me like stories, thoughts, anything. I gave here. Seed now grow into a beautiful farm.
Why did you do it like from you?
Well, because seed, seed,
like seed, like you're.
I feel like I thought I had like a bag of seed and I was like sprinkling it, like
Yeah, sure.
But I'm sure when yeah, you're right. I generally wasn't doing that on purpose, but yes.
So I don't see anything that the guy did wrong. I don't know what she means by why he didn't do that.
Yeah.
She rejected him. He moved on and did the things he wanted to do with the person that was willing to be with him. Like, that's on you. It's on you, whatever your name is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a curious. Go ahead. I thought I heard.
No, I think it's multiple things that are all conjoined into one, and they shouldn't be, right? Like, he was a great guy. Okay, cool, but like, would the relationship have worked, right? There are great guys with whom it would not work, but
yeah.
Let's say it would have. Great, no problem. Then you messed up by letting go of that, no problem. And then, now he's dating someone else. Okay, that's normal. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And that person he's dating is 8 years younger. That's another different thing, right? And who cares?
Pretty normal, yeah.
Unless they're like super, like, as you get older, it gets more normal.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna assume everyone in this story is at an age where it's
Same.
normal.
Yeah.
But like, and then the why do men do this? That's clearly I'm hurt because it's like he's traded for a younger model, and it's like, but that's not what he did. That's not, that's there at no point in the story did it sound like that's what he did.
Like it is an interesting, like mental. You didn't, because she says after 8 years I finally. So it was an 8-year gap. She had no contact, and it was like, what was he supposed just sit and hope that eventually, like, I don't. That's where I was like, man, that's pretty wild. If you actually had that expectation that after 8 years, he'd be like, oh, finally, I don't know.
Any reasonable person would be like, well, hey, maybe I could rekindle that. Let me see if they're single, and if they are, cool. But like, if
not, you'd be like, oh, that's yes, exactly. You would expect like, oh yeah, they moved on.
It would be wild to expect them to be single,
I was waiting for you to call me. What's that country song?
Trucks,
shit. No. She calls this guy because she's been thinking about him after a while, and he ends if this is Austin, it's Austin. I still love you. Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen.
I thought you're going a completely different direction with that.
No, I was just trying to think of a rep, because in the song he waits for like 5 years and has on his voicemail back when we had answering machines that he still loved her. Like, sorry, but that's not real. Can be. I've never seen it.
It shouldn't be, right? Like,
the only way something like would work is if like both of you moved on, did something with other people, dated dated a couple people, and then you both happen to be like, it just happened to time out to where you both had broken up with somebody at the same time, right? Like that's the only way that kind of a gap would be like a rational, like, oh yeah, we should rekindle. Like that's cool,
Yeah.
you know. It's like if it just happened to work out that way, but there's no way that like it would naturally just be.
You can't expect that.
Yeah.
Well, it could naturally, but I think the odds are low.
Mm-hmm.
That the problems are going to be sorted out, like just on their own.
At some point, there's personal growth, and
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, that was wonderful. And to keep it from becoming a he-man woman hater club, I will change the subject slightly.
God forbid.
Yes. There's another one that was said. It's this guy I really like. His name's Zuby. Zuby Music. And he said, treating material possessions. Okay, by the way, I should explain. This guy's like a rapper. He was from England. He's moved to Saudi Arabia, I believe, like the Arab
UAE.
Abu Dhabi.
UAE?
Yeah, he moved to Abu, the big city in
Yep.
UAE. So he's just, but he travels there. He's in the U.S. a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He may have dual citizenship there as well. But he was the guy who, when they first started letting trans women into the Olympic sports, he did a power lift, recorded it, and it was like, today I am declaring that I am a woman and I am now the world record holder for the power lift, and because he did more than the strongest world record ever, and he's not even that big. I mean, but he was making a point that like, come on, this is ridiculous, and that's how he kind of hit internet fame. But he said treating material possessions better than you treat your own body is the norm, but it's also insane. And I was like, I get what like. There's people who will polish their car and get mad if anybody walks within 5 feet of it, and then they will go and eat McDonald's 3 times a day and drink 4 Monsters, right? And it's like, I kind of get what he said. Like, there's people who don't.
I kind of agree with what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, yeah. If you don't have physical health, what do you? It's like,
yeah,
the material stuff will eventually lose its like when you're in dire pain, it just, or you're in the hospital, you can't enjoy all the physical things need to be. It's not that they're bad, but I do think it's becoming more and more maybe a common in a materialistic society that we start to value stuff more than physical wealth, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do your thoughts.
I think a lot of that checks out in my mind. I think generally people do a really, really bad job of taking care of themselves, right? Like, I hear it a lot with like people talking about their negative self-talk, right? And it's like, if you talked to your friend the way that you talk to yourself, they would not be your friend anymore. Why do you let yourself talk to you that way? Like, would you give your friend any grace when they make mistakes? Why not give yourself the grace that you would give your friend? Why be such a bad friend to yourself? I think generally that's just a different version of this where you're favoring other things over.
Yeah. Well, what do you do when you get the opposite
well-being.
too? Because there's people who that's kind of the move behind the left a little bit, right? Is that everything's accepted, so that way if you forgive everybody of everything, then you don't have to be held responsible either, right? Like it's almost like
you forgive one of your friends for everything, you're not being a good friend.
Right?
Yeah,
see, I agree. We agree on that. Yeah.
So you have to like. It's not saying never hold them accountable, but like, just don't be a dick about it, I guess. Right? Like, I don't know. I don't know the right way to pursue the line of inquiry, but I know I'm right about this.
You got to work on. Yeah, I know. I'm there all the time in this podcast where I come on and I'm like, I know there's something there, but I am not sure where the stream will lead.
I mean, I like it. I think we found the motto for life right there. Don't be a dick about it. I mean, that fits a lot of things. I wish the world leaders would just not be a dick about it,
Oh, man, that'd be nice.
Oh, man.
I mean, I agree.
We'd all just get along.
That's why I don't like DeSantis, by the way.
Because he's a
said
dick.
that earlier. Yeah, he's just a dick.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
That's why a lot of people don't like that was the biggest complaint about Trump, right? It's just like his
It might
personality.
be
Like,
a complaint. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
they don't like his like cocky kind of New York, you know.
Well, we've sort of met. I wonder to what degree teaching kids that you can bully your way into positions of power is more detrimental than whatever policies are going to be implemented and then reversed in 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Um,
But see, I don't even think that's
wonder the
just Trump. I think
long-term
both. I think that's just politics. That's like
Agreed,
politics now.
agreed.
Like that's all
I
it
think
is.
Trump did it more than the rest, right? Like, I mean, to establish a name for all of his competitors, like Lion, Ted, or whatever. I
I
he
think
did a
that's
bit
better
more.
than calling your opponent a Nazi, which is like one of the worst, most evil, wicked
Agreed.
people. So
Agreed.
I'd almost rather be
But
called,
I'm not-
yeah.
I'm not trying to absolve the others of
Yeah.
of any.
Well, I was just saying, like,
yes,
I think they're
you're
on
right.
on par. It is. I just think that's politics now. Is right. You never see political commercials during politics going, I believe in this, and I have these kind of policies. This is how I'm gonna. It's always like,
Right.
Mary was a slut in high school. Do you want to vote for the high school slut? It's like that's all political ads now. It has nothing to do about their position. It's just
I would vote for the high school slut. In a
Oh,
heartbeat.
honestly, she's a trooper. So
Yeah.
No kidding.
yeah.
No kidding.
Who's to say haven't already?
Fair point. Fair point. that Lyndon B. Johnson, and
he was known. He was known for being around.
he was known. Yeah.
Actually,
That's
there
the guy.
were
He would just
some.
whip it out at people.
I was gonna say, I know there were some like old school politicians that were kind of known for having a lot of
Yeah.
physical issues in the groin area. So I think they. I don't
They
think-
needed to take this advice. They
Yeah.
needed to take care of their physical.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah, yeah.
physical-
I don't remember where I was going with any of that, but yeah, no, I agree. Solid
Right.
point, everyone. No, I mean you're right. I was trying to, in my head, get back there.
Basically, if you take anything away from this podcast, just don't be a dick about things.
No, I agree.
It's as simple as that.
Oh,
Placebo
okay.
has nailed it.
Here, Placebo will be happy. This is some balanced. So this is this is the opposite. This is a man that was out of his mind. So, a wife, the guy. Okay, I'll just read it. My wife and I have an amazing, happy relationship. I can't recall a single time we've argued to the point of breakup or divorce. This issue, however, is causing me to reconsider the health of our relationship. Since my wife and I have been together, I have worked as a manager at a restaurant chain. I'm an extremely passionate aviation enthusiast in my free time. I have spent thousands of dollars on flight textbooks, sim gear, and even built my own A330 setup. I have never actually flown. This is highlighted. I have never actually flown a plane or started flight training, but I have considered it for a long time. Even though my skills are not a career, I consider myself an adept, or possibly more knowledgeable than the average pilot. Anyway, he goes on to, I'm going to cut because it's pretty long. The issue he is having that has made him reconsider his marriage is she will not refer to him as a pilot. And he believes, and I quote, I have earned the title of pilot through my 500 plus hours on, oh, that's thunder, okay, on a sim and thousands of dollars put into my craft, the amount of money he spent on his simulator. Sorry, I was making sure that it wasn't like somebody falling down that I'd had to go, but it was just thunder. But yeah, so his whole thing is he wants to divorce her because she will not refer to him as a pilot because he does flight simulators.
He's the asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, I can use a Band-Aid. Should you call me Dr. Brody? I don't think so.
That's why I was like,
Pilot's not like one of those terms, though. Like that just doesn't make sense. There's something else going on here.
well, a pilot is like it's an official. It's like doctor, right? Like if you don't go through what it takes to get, then you're not like you have to go through the actual flight school to get a pilot's license. Then you're a pilot. It's like a licensure thing. And he's like, yeah, no, I agree. I see what you're saying. You're saying there's probably something else underneath it all that is like, why would he be this upset over her not? But I don't know. There's some people who like they get a little lost in their hobbies. You know what I mean? Like they do get.
Yeah.
And if you think, I've flown a fake plane, in a flight simulator. I'm basically, I want my wife, when we talk to friends at a barbecue, to like, oh, my pilot husband, instead of my restaurant manager husband. That's a bit off. That's a bit delusional. I was kind of just like, when I read that, I was like, boy, that is.
I don't know where you're finding these things.
Oh, Twitter.
What do you think it is under the surface? Just insecurity? I don't know what else.
Need for affirmation.
Yeah.
He doesn't think restaurant manager is
Yes, that
impressive enough,
I think,
and so he wants to tell people at parties or whatever, I'm a pilot, and she's not playing along.
So foolish, because what's the obvious next question? Oh, well, what airline do you fly for? Where do you fly? And then you have to awkwardly like shrink back into yourself. And,
Yeah.
Oh, I just do simulator work.
Or he lies and he's like, "Oh, I flew over New Mexico yesterday, and it was a 4-hour flight. We took a 4-hour flight from New Jersey to San Antonio, and it was rough skies. I mean, you're just like playing through your simulation in your head." I mean, there's guys who are not that far off, I guess. I don't know. Is that tea?
I mean,
I'm just curious. It's the world's greatest tea.
Okay.
It's,
No, okay.
It's the world's greatest tea.
Organic tea.
I see your
Greenwise.
Mint and lemongrass.
Yes, and it's from Greenwise. I know the brand. They do a lot of organic stuff that I really like. Actually, their yogurt's good. Their yogurt's good. I'm trying to think of some others. Their eggs are good.
Yeah.
But
basically anything organic at Publix is all Greenwise, pretty much.
No, that's probably why. Because that's right. I shop at Publix, so that would make sense. But I was wondering if that was tea or if you were just like going hard on some whiskey.
No, I thought he was hitting some whiskey. Honestly,
holy shit, man! Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, are we gonna get a special appearance of drunk placebo?
Drunk placebo. It is Saturday. Saturday and Friday are the 2 days. Well, I guess a little bit Sunday, but we got to plan it next time, and you can have drunk. We can have drunk.
I honestly didn't know that was a plastic bottle. It looked like a glass.
Yeah, at first it did look glass.
Every time he took a sip out of it, I was like, this guy.
I had a day. Let me tell you.
Never questioned it, just accepted it.
That's remarkable.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Evil. It sounded like you thought you had something else to say about the whole situation. Or were you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. Well, there we go. Also that should hopefully get rid of the haters who, say that I only hate on women. I've officially exposed dumb men. Okay.
I'm the only one.
Well, okay.
No one else. I'm just hyper fixated on. Eventually, one of the students will find this podcast.
Oh, that's true. Right? I see what you're saying.
Eventually, that will happen.
And then, okay, the opinions of me do not represent the opinions of anyone else on this podcast.
But you understand,
yes,
right?
No, I fully get. Yes, a lovely, wonderful female student who has good hopes will take me shitting on women the wrong way as if I'm talking about her personally, and she'll be like, "Oh, Mr. Johnson thinks that we're all." Yeah. Okay, I get it.
There's a lot of times where their perceptions get twisted, and it's like I'm concerned about that. That's all.
If the stuff I say doesn't apply to you, then don't worry about it. It doesn't apply to you. Like
sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
If you're not a crazy bitch, then don't worry about you. I'm not talking about you.
Agreed.
This one's interesting. Usually I don't talk about video game stuff, but I do think this is interesting because I do think it has some cultural implications. This is why this happened. For the first time ever in a single quarter, Kick has reached 1 billion hours watched, and Twitch saw its third straight quarterly decline in hours watched. So less people are watching Twitch for 3 quarters straight. They've been losing viewership, and Kick has gained it for the first time, or they've reached 1 billion hours, which is a lot of that. That means they're getting some views. I do think a lot of that is Asmongold switched over to Kick, and he's one of the biggest streamers or he didn't completely switch, but they split. Tectone's he went over to Kick. I'm trying to think, but there's a few people that have shifted towards Kick from Twitch. They're at least dual streaming, or they've made a full shift. And a lot of that is because of the way they have handled their policies, their terms of service, and their other policies where people on one side of the political spectrum would say get a day suspension for an insane statement, right? Something like, I hope veterans of PTSD all kill themselves, where someone else will get a week because they called another fat streamer fat, right? And it seemed like it's always over-applied for people who were kind of middle to right, and then people who were on the very severe left were getting like nothing or a slap on the wrist, you know, a day when they were planning on taking off anyway, they got suspended. And I do think that started to move some people because they're like, I'm not getting treated fairly here, so I've got to go somewhere where I can have a consistent, I don't have to worry about my stream and my income just being cut off like, you know, like that for something that, you know, I don't necessarily have control over. But anyway, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting seeing a slight cultural shift even within the streaming space, because I do think that has some cultural impact on society. You know, people watch streamers and it influences their thinking. And I believe Asmongold also set a record for like most views. He is now like the most viewed streamer. Either hours. It was either on. I'm trying to remember if it was hours streamed that he was watched or if it was views on YouTube. It was like something big, but he was like the top guy. And so, you know, there's a bit of a shift there. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts? Give me some.
I think I need to switch to Kick.
Oh, that was the other thing Asmongold showed. During 1 month of Twitch, he made 33,000. In that same month on Kick, he made 290-something thousand.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
My God.
So I was like, yeah, well, people who are his size, if you make that switch, well, it's because Kick takes all your fucking money, man. They take like 40, 50, 60%. Like, and by the time it's all done, that even their partners, they take a huge chunk of it. Kick gives like 95% plus. If you're a signed partner, you get even like, it's something insane, like 97% or something of the money that comes in, you get that. And so, you know, it's just, I don't know, like, that is a huge difference. They're like $290-something thousand a month. It's a massive difference.
Almost, what's that, 10 times that? Because two said 297,000, so we're just going to call it 3. That's
yeah. It's about 10 times as much. That's
I just need that 1 month. 1 month of that, I'd be a happy man.
Yeah, I need probably 3 or 4. 3 or 4 would probably get me good, you know. I got school loans, man. I got school loans.
I'll take half, God. I'll take half a month, God. Whenever you're ready.
Humble as always.
Got holiday.
$2. Take $2.
I don't have anything super remarkable. It does remind me of it used to be, I vividly remember Netflix and chill, right? That was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like Netflix was the streaming service. That's what you did, right? And though it probably has remained Netflix and chill, there are so many other sites right now. There's HBO Max, there's Hulu, Disney Plus, right? There's a ton of them. I bet that's probably where we're going with this, right? Like Twitch has been Netflix, in the analogy, and we're now going to get more coming out, right? Asmongold going over there is HBO airing Game of Thrones, and it creates the.
And I think that's overall, I think it's good because parody keeps companies from doing kind of what's happened with Twitch or where they started to. I mean, the weird thing is Netflix has almost done the opposite. And instead of like accepting that, oh, there's competition out there now, they've increased their prices, right? And they just keep, and they, even when you are paying some of their lower tiers, you still get like ads, like unless you pay their super ridiculous like cable bill tier payment, like you're getting ads now. So yeah, I don't know. It's because you would think it would encourage companies to be like, oh, we're no longer in a monopoly. We can't just do whatever we want to the people and they have to accept it because we're all that's there. Yeah. And I do know YouTube also plays into this because like I was watching Tim the Tapman stream yesterday, and they don't auto run ads on YouTube, and he had 31,000 people watching almost the entire time over on YouTube. That is like a huge portion of, that's a large number of people to watch a stream, and that is also, so now there's like 3 major players, And Rumble's kind of dabbling a little bit. Twitch talked to Asmongold, and they're trying to figure that out. I think that's in the future. I heard it's not really viable now, but they're looking to try to build a viable streaming side of it. So yeah, and again, I think it's good. I think the more you have options for people to go to, the better it is, and the easier it is to make a living because it spreads out the marketplace enough to where it's not. Someone could go over to Rumble and they would be able to get a different population and they would be like one of the big dogs over on Rumble. Whereas if they went to Twitch, they get drowned out by the people who are already established with, 2 million, 5 million followers. They're all going to just watch that. So yeah, I am pro choice in this situation. Pro streaming choice.
I really, really hope your AI short maker
does it
like hard cuts.
The title is good. I am pro choice. I am pro streaming choice. Yeah,
get some views. What's
fat conservative man
saying?
Pro choice. I tell you what, man. I fucked Netflix last year, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I said, "Bitch, you better go." No, anyway, go ahead. Yeah, anybody else other than anybody else? I mean, Brody, you're a streamer. Give us the streamer input, man. Give us your thoughts.
I've had so many lulls where I just wasn't doing it that every time I start back up again, it feels like I'm restarting. So I know that I should be dual streaming to Kick. I have a Kick account. I actually have like 4 followers over there, believe it or not.
It's more than I have.
But I can't justify the $29 a month to dual stream until I'm seeing some sort of revenue come back.
So that's that. You would have to either do Streamlabs OBS, or you would have to do. I
have switched to Streamlabs.
Okay. Or there's that. What's the actual website service that a lot of people use?
Restream.
Restream. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
I was using that usually your 2 options for.
But I had a lot of problems with Restream and the way it was linking up with my OBS I was using. So I finally just got tired of it and switched to Streamlabs.
That's why I use Streamlabs when I actually dual streamed to. Actually, I think at the very end I was doing Twitch and Kick, and then I tried doing YouTube. You're supposed to be able to do like up to 3 or whatever more, but YouTube's such a unique. Like they do their streaming differently. They do it weird, where you have to like individually send it out. It's really weird. It's way more difficult. Like the other ones, you just hit go live and it automatically boom throws it out there. YouTube, you have to do all this extra steps to make it like go live, and you
have to manage your broadcast and choose your stream key and all this other. Yeah, it's confusing. But I would say that the more options people have to watch the big streamers on, I think kind of opens the door up for people like me who've been piddling in the lower bracket for years to maybe
get seen by somebody.
Because there's always going to be that person like, I'm not going to Kick. I've always used Twitch. That's where I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
And now that person, instead of watching the guy with 40,000 viewers, he's looking for a new one. So I think all in all, I think it's good. I am going to focus on getting my Kick going. Because I knew that I thought it was 70% as just a Kick affiliate. I'm just going to use, I don't know if that's their word for it, but I think it was 70%.
That Ply gets 95, and he's not, really? I mean, he's small. Yeah, he got just enough followers that it would pay him out. So basically, Ply does a really smart, this is something I'll give him shit all the time, but he's very intelligent when it comes to the business side of things. He will use Kick. He will tell people to do the subs over on Kick, and they actually get more channel points if they sub over on Kick, and then while watching on Twitch, and it'll still pop up on his screen. He'll still say, "Oh, somebody gave X amount of subs. Oh, it's a 50 bomb or whatever." But he gives them like 7 points instead of 5 points, right? But he gets, instead of $250 for a sub, he gets. If it's $5.99, he gets like $5.50 for a sub, and so that's why his I'm not going to say the exact numbers that he was telling me, but his numbers jumped, like his overall earnings I think doubled when he switched to dual streaming over on Kick, when he actually got it, because it was just that much. He got to keep that much more. I did send him this information and some texts because I thought, I know how much of his branding, his streaming, his financials hinge on using certain third-party attachments that are right now work best on Twitch. But you got to start planning for the future, because it could be like once it becomes popular to shift over, you don't want to get stuck behind either, right? Like you don't want to get.
Yeah.
You kind of got to like read the tea leaves a little bit and make sure that you've got at least a foot in both ponds. You know what I'm saying? You got to have like a solid foot in both ponds. So I was just saying that, just kind of. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I agree. It's good to have options.
Mm-hmm. I had some other point. But I don't. Who cares? Whatever my thought was, it's not important now. I do want to just show you guys this. This will be fun. Hold on, everybody who's listening. Well, I don't know who would listen on YouTube. But this guy's name. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yep. Andropov.
Yeah.
Pick up and drop
This
off.
dude was. This dude was made to be a taxi driver. His name was pick up and drop off. And I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I thought it was pretty fun. That was just for fun. I just thought that was a good, fun little tidbit or whatever.
It's one of those that you could put in as a fake name and people wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot that are pretty obvious. That one, it would take some thinking.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be real. It could actually be real. Like, there's are people who have those names that are. Yeah. God, there was somebody that like his name was like Titty something. It was a football player, and his name was like Titty Flash or something. I can't remember. I mean, it was like wasn't quite written that way, but it was basically like anybody who read it, that's what you would read. It was like top 5 football players' names.
I went to high school with a guy whose name was legitimately Dip to Dip Depp. His first name was Dip to Dip, and his last name was Depp.
Oh my gosh! I bet you teachers were like, "Oh, Dip to Dip."
I have no idea. He was in IB. I was in Healthy Cat. We didn't really have classes together.
Yeah, but you just knew the name.
I knew of him because he was a legend.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was it? Oh, it was a comedian I was watching on a short reel, and he was talking about his last name, and his last name was Glassdick. It was actually Glassdick, and he was like, "Yeah," and he just talked about like it was obviously a comedian thing, but it was his real name, and I was like, yeah, that's probably up there on the worst names to have.
You'll drive by. There's a furniture store. Tell me if you've heard of this. Badcock.
Yeah,
that's the name of the furniture store. It's like you could have picked anything. You weren't limited. You had infinite choices. And you went with Badcock.
Yeah. There's one called Butts Drugstore, real close to us. And it's actually spelled B-U-T. Their last name is B-U-T-T-S, and so it's Butts Drugstore.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's what Badcock is. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure their last name.
But they just
really?
I'm sure it works. I mean, it sticks in people's brains, right? I mean, they're like, oh no, it's our last name, but there's also like a like they're gonna remember the name if you drive by Badcock Furniture, they're going to. It's part of the. We talked about this before, right? The. No such thing as bad press or whatever. No,
that
bad
probably
publicity.
is what that is. Yeah.
Same mentality.
There's a guy I work with. His last name is Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos.
Oh yeah, I know those. Yeah.
And every time I hear it paged, I just chuckle. Yeah, I can't help it. It's just funny. It's a funny name. Cool dude.
It's a rhythmic. There's something to it.
Papadopoulos. Man, I'm stuck with mine. Bullshit.
What is your last name? I know this. Brody. I remember it being a difficult last name. What is your last name?
It's German. It's Lindbauer.
Lindbauer. Oh, that's not that bad. That's really not that bad.
And
is it spelled like Lindbauer?
No, it's not. I was getting ready to get there. I think we as a family at some point started mispronouncing this word, and it's just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
But
yeah, somehow it worked out for us.
Spell it.
Because we were like Little Ford. Like Little Ford is my last. And it's literally Littleford. Little Ford. So like my mom used to be like, it's not a big Chevy, it's a Little Ford. And it helped people like remember our last name. Especially since we're from the South, and it's like
yes,
people in the South will be like, Littleford, you Littleford, and it's like, well, I have to really pronounce Littleford for like, and they're like, how is that spelled? I'm like, I said it, but yeah, you kind of have to really play into it a bit. I mean, I guess you're a Johnson. That could have some fun play too.
No, it's there was the guy who ran for president, right? Gary Johnson. Do you know what because he was a libertarian candidate. You remember his slogan
Free
that
Johnson
one time?
or something?
No, why have the left nut or the right nut when you can have the Johnson?
Oh my god. That's a great slogan. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I voted for him.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. If you're running for president with that as your slogan, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
I feel bad for all the British people whose names were Harry Johnson.
Right.
I feel really bad for them.
Let's see. Okay. Well, I still have more. I have more things we can discuss. Human nature and all that. Someone were tight, and we can discuss. Just 100 years ago, kids ran barefoot through the fields, climbed trees, came home at sunset covered in dirt and joy. Now they're inside all day on tablets, diagnosed with 3 disorders by age 8, and afraid of steak. What the fuck happened? That was the post. What are your thoughts? I will allow you to elaborate. Feel free. Stage is
You'll
yours.
have to do that again. My mom called me and I was texting her, telling her what I was doing.
I
Sorry.
will gladly do this one more time because it takes up more time off the podcast.
Are we filling the clock here?
No, I'm just kidding. Just 100 years ago, kids ran barefoot through the fields. They climbed trees and came home at sunset covered in dirt and joy. Now they're inside all day on tablets, diagnosed with 3 disorders by age 8, and afraid of steak. What happened? Like, what happened? Not like, what happened?
Vaccines.
That was it. Yep, that's the answer. COVID. Oh, shoot. This whole time I have had
COVID. I mean, there's like a whole generation of kids that were born and they couldn't go out and do anything. I mean, you couldn't go to the park. And so that's just what they grew up doing.
I mean, that's still young, though. We're talking real young.
Yeah.
But, of course, I don't know. I guess it's been a while since we had the COVID lockdown. It's been, 2 years since the COVID lockdowns, fully passed or fully, cleared?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd say 2 years.
I'm getting old enough that years start to, I'm like, man, that feels like not that long ago, but it was actually a while ago.
2020 was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I do think we've talked about this before, though, the difference in how human psychology works with experiencing things online compared to experiencing them in person. I wonder how much of an effect that has. I do. Because, I don't care to go see trees. I can see it on my computer screen in 4K. But I do think there is a psychological difference in looking at an actual tree and the wind and just experiencing actual physical nature versus seeing it, no matter how good your speakers are, how pretty your screen is. There is something there. And I think the same thing can be said for humans, right? It's like human contact. There's something. I mean, what we're doing now is. It's amazing how much that technology has been able to make it closer to a real experience, right? We can see each other's facial expressions. We can hear real time our vocal inflections. It's not my dearest Janet, I thought of you this week, and it was, it takes a month to get there. There's way more actual human, I talked about, right? Social presence theory. It feels like we're closer. We connect more doing this than we do, back in the day. But I still, it's probably not quite the same as just, there's something about being in a physically being present with someone that creates a connection and a realization of how real people are. So I do wonder if that, more than just having us misunderstand each other, I do wonder if it causes a certain level of depression and psychological issues.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, I have no data to back it up other than look the fuck around. But yeah,
it's a podcast. That's all you need.
There's levels of experience, right? if I lived 100, 200 years ago, I would never be able to see like the Grand Canyon.
Uh-huh.
I can go on Google right now and I can see the Grand Canyon, and that takes me like up a level or two, right? I can get some experiential qualities that I couldn't get before. But then what often happens is it's easy to just be like, okay, cool, and to ignore that there is better stuff if you are actually able to go in person or do stuff like
Right.
out on your, and so it's just a big condensing of experience into this online facsimile, right? That's probably my take, but that's different from I don't know what you said about the quote in there. Kids played out in the fields, came back dirty later. I think if I had to pinpoint something that's been the cause of the change, I would probably go with parental fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parental
Like
fear, I think, would be pretty near the top of the list.
Because that's another thing. There's literally a I guess I'll call it a fad that's going on Twitter. Is younger people going, did your parents really just like send you out into the neighborhood and say be back before the street lights come on?
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, yes, I was probably one of the last generations that, because until I was like 10, 11, we didn't have a family computer. Right, so that's what. If you were a kid, you went out and you'd pretend like you were a Major League Baseball player, and you go to a friend's house and you play wiffle ball. And there's like this big yard that everybody would play tackle football in. It's like, so it was really, yeah. It was like I agree. I think parents today would be like, we're not letting our kids go out. There's people out there, and that.
Right.
Not
They
completely
assume
wrong, but-
it's safer tucked away in the corner of when it's like, no, the skills you would actually be getting out there, you kind of need if you're going to go into that world over there.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you go into that world over there without any of the skills, there's a reason that people think of Twitch chat as degen losers by and large, right? Of course not, but generally, right? There's a reason there's a stigma around the Twitch chat thing. And it's because they don't have the skills that they would get elsewhere, because it takes effort if you're not experiencing them elsewhere to get them over here.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't have like a starting line and you don't know how to go about it, odds are very small that you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah. I think I do think the Twitch thing it's magnified as well, in that even people who do have those skills become assholes when they're online. Like there's 54-year-olds that, you see them tweet stuff and you're like, well, that's a douchebag opinion, or like just the way they said it is like, you could have said that in a way that wasn't like douchey, but you chose, because you're now feel hidden and safe behind a screen to say things a certain way. So I think it's both. It's like a lack of inherent underlying skills combined with the feeling of like, it is now my world and I can do whatever I want. I don't.
Anonymity.
Yeah. I'm allowed to be as big of a jerk as I want. And I wonder if that also, like, that's why there's such a extreme divide, like socially and politically in the country too, right? Because less and less people are meeting each other and dealing with other, because you used to have to deal with people on the other political spectrum on a regular basis. And you may have been frustrated, but it made them a little bit more human, right? Like you couldn't just, they are the Nazis, right? Which both sides make claims to, Ral, right? But it did force you to like kind of humanize the side a little bit. Whereas when it's just a voice on the internet that, by the way, is made more extreme by their, feeling safe, and they make a more extreme statement, it just magnifies. It just snowballs.
We've got a million unhealthy cycles all feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding and feeding.
Yeah, no, I agree. Brody, you're sneaking off the camera slowly but surely. You're like here, and now you're about here. So I'm like, is he running away? Is he?
No, my dog was wanting me to play fetch, but she wouldn't let go of the ball.
Oh,
So
you got
just keep
It's not fetch. It's if you don't have the
No,
ball.
she's just showing me. She's like, look at the ball I've got. No, don't touch it. Just look at it.
That was it. That was the other thing I was going to talk about. Thank you. I brought it. Let's see if I can find the post. It was. Actually, you know what? Let me read you this one, and then you can read that while I find the other one. These are two stats. 3% of men are clinically narcissists, right? 3% of men can be like clinically proven to be, they actually are the mental thing of the mental disability, I guess is what I would call it, the mental psychosis or whatever of being a narcissist. And yet, in one study, now obviously this is a small section, so it can't be applied over all, but there was 99% of women in that study claimed that they have at least one time dated a narcissist. So unless there's they're all dating these same 3 men, there is a definite disconnect between, I think people just use the word narcissist way too much. They don't understand the term.
Absolutely.
And that may be where this, but anyway, you guys talk about while I look this up.
No, I agree with that. I think people like to put a label on things, and everybody says, "Oh, I've dated a narcissist," and I've said it too.
Mm-hmm.
People just use this one thing as a generalization term for all the shit they went through. Like, oh, well, they did that because they're just a narcissist. But yeah, I think there's a general lack of understanding of what that word actually means. I would agree.
I think there's 2 things at play here, right? All right, let's look at here we have all of the men that exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which are, within that state, 3% of them are narcissists. What are the odds that one of these men is a narcissist if they have not much going on for them? I think lower than if they have a lot going on for them, right? I think generally the narcissists will tend to be those that are perhaps more desirable by the women. So I think that there is some skew. Of course, 99 to 95 or whatever it was that you said is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I could see it not being 3% and 3%, right? I could see it being 3% and 15, 20, something like, you know what I mean? Like something a little bit higher. But I also think whenever dating ends, both parties consolidate what happened and sort of tell themselves a story about it, right? And very often the one that comes if they were not treated right is they were narcissistic. They were, and it's a commonly accepted excuse now, right? Like if it's very widely accepted. If you say, "Oh, I dated a narcissist," people are like, "Oh, that's okay, sweetie," blah 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 blah, right?
And sometimes I almost think it also comes from, and I'll say this for both genders. I think sometimes when people go into relationships, I think a lot they're almost expecting. They're not the narcissist, but both sides can be self-centered. I think we also confuse narcissism with self-centered. But if someone doesn't give them the amount of attention they were expecting or in the way they're expecting, instead of going, oh, it's because maybe I was I was self-centered, and they go, oh, they were so focused on themselves that they didn't give me what I needed, and they push that, like, that's the other excuse, right? Is like, they were a narcissist. They didn't see my needs. And it was like, well, you may have had a few too many as well. Maybe you weren't. I agree. I think people just overuse that term like extremely. I don't know. It's just an extreme misuse of the term. They don't understand narcissism is a clinical term that actually has like a lot. And you're right. Most narcissists are super high achievers. They're super attractive because they are hyper focused on how they look, how they, how people perceive them. And so yeah, it's you're usually not getting your average, just normal male dude who has an average job. That's usually not the actual narcissist. But anyway, you were talking about pets, and I can't find the exact tweet, but I remember what it was. It was saying that a majority of people said that they value a pet's life over a human's life. And a lot of well, yeah, of course, because my pet never said blah, blah, blah to me. Or my pet's never, slept with my wife. Or my pet's and I was like, I think that is over some people's lives, yes, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of agree. There's some people I'm like, yeah, I would absolutely an innocent pet over a rapist. Thumbs up. Value that. But I do think some people overvalue the pet in a general sense because they apply their own persona to that pet. You know, like basically the pet doesn't judge them, but it's like, yeah, because it's not a human and it can't process all your shitty parts too. You know, like it just likes that you give it food and you scratch it, and it does have there is an emotional connection, but it's not the same that you get with a human, and so that's why you will never get judged because, you know, you said something douchey to a pet, you know, like, and so people want that level of like, you know, well, it doesn't, it's like, yeah, it's not a pet. I mean, it's not a human, so therefore it doesn't judge you, and that's kind of where this comes from. Is I do think that is a little bit of a self-centered that you constantly, but anyway, give me your, because you guys are pet owners, so give me your feedback. That's what I wanted. Do you value...
So are we talking like somebody's like, oh, well, we broke up because he loved his dog more than me? Or are we talking like somebody breaks in and my dog bites him and now I need to kill my dog? Because it's
yeah,
really
I agree. That's
for
well,
me.
let's discuss both.
Because if my dog were to run across the street and bite one of the neighbor kids, I'll kill it myself. But if somebody breaks in my house and is like trying to kill my dog, I'm gonna tear you up. Like, you're
gonna help the dog.
I'm gonna help the dog. You know what I mean?
So help the dog finish the job.
Circumstantial. But then, you know, people are like, oh, well, he oodles and ogs over his dog, but when I want attention, he never gives me any. That's that person's fault. Humans need that connection too. And so when people start prioritizing their pet they've had for 5 years over their new partner, then it's a problem. You know what I mean?
I would agree with, yeah.
That's just kind of how I feel about it.
I agree. And I could see that being, if you're joining into a new relationship, I could see that being very off-putting or very insulting if you are just constantly getting put in second place to a pet. You're like theoretically, we're supposed to be trying to become connected to a level that, you know, eventually it would be we are coming together as one, right? And you're constantly saying that I'm less valuable to you than, you know, your pet.
You sit in the back because
I'm going to have some issues with that,
that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think it is circumstantial. Maybe that question was too, like, when they... That's the other thing. I don't like studies to ask questions that are way too open-ended, you know?
It is.
Like, it's like, well, it depends. Like, that would be the answer. Like, it just depends. What are we talking about? Like, are we talking about the Titanic's sinking and there is a 5-year-old and only either the 5-year-old or my poodle can get on the rescue boat? Or are, you know, like at what level of, like, value are we attributing to this situation? Go ahead, Sue.
You have something
I don't know. Whenever these questions are asked, I spent so long in school for philosophy, I always think of the best example. All right, they're hanging off the side of a volcano, right? And they're about to plummet in, right? We're in the Return of the King, the very end. You either save the cat that's hanging on somehow, or the human next to them that's hanging on somehow. And it's all right. Well, is the human my mom? Because I'm gonna save my mom. Is the human some convicted rapist with clear intent to do it again? I'm gonna save my cat.
Yeah.
You know, is the human evil? I'm gonna save evil. You know. And
evil as a person, not evil as an attribute, by the way, for everybody.
Yes, sorry. Is it
this
Kevin?
guy right here? This one. Evil start.
That big handsome man right there. But I think if it is just a completely random person that I don't know, Mr. Generic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I save my cat. I think I save my cat. I think I have a deontological duty to take care of my cat. And I think I, of course, have a deontological duty to take care of other people, too. But I think I've made a commitment to my cat. And I can't deny that it is the outcome I would want because I have some personal attachment to the cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would hurt me. It would cause me shock to see some person die. I think it would, to some degree, have like a small little level of trauma to see my cat die like that, you know?
Yeah. Do you think the age of the person would matter? Because your cat's only going to live for so many years,
When
right?
you mentioned the 5-year-old drowning in the Titanic, I will be so honest, it didn't matter at all.
That's interesting.
It didn't matter, not one bit.
I was gonna tell Angel like I'd save you.
Not one bit would that matter that it's a 5-year-old kid.
Huh.
There's something there. I don't know.
Yeah,
What?
because I was like, man, it's talking maybe 70 years of a human life could be the next Martin Luther King
yep.
or whatever.
No, I don't like that train of thought because it could just as well be the next Hitler,
Yeah.
right? Like, so
yeah, but there's at least a potential for either way. Whereas the cat, I guess you're right. The cat will never be Hitler. So that's
right.
yeah.
I don't want to but the lifespan, I think you might have it. But if that's the case, then save the fucking turtle first, right? Like
right, yeah.
The
turtle can
should
swim.
be.
So turtle's fine.
Okay, but a volcano.
Toss
volcano.
it first. Okay,
we're
volcano.
Volcano. We're not in the ocean.
How's the turtle hanging on? How's the turtle hanging on? I want the physics. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, but if it's a snapping turtle, I'm not saving the turtle. There it is, circumstantial.
Yeah, that's
man.
true. Snapping turtles are evil. That's true. Yeah,
they are inherently evil creatures.
I suppose that's my reductio as to why we can't base it on lifespan either.
Yeah,
right? As to why it doesn't matter that the kid is 5 years old.
I can see that. Okay, so I've had pets in the past. I don't have one now. I don't think I would take I think I would take the opposite. I would probably save the person. But I mean, that's just. I don't have an emotional attachment to one, so that may if I did, that may have changed. I don't know.
Do you know how many cats I grew up with?
No.
3.
No.
I was trying to guess. Well, I'm assuming it has to be some.
Do you know how many cats I grew up with? No, I really okay. So I grew up in a house with 25 indoor
Holy
cats.
Shit.
Yeah. My grandmother was that lady, you know.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground with grandmothers and cats. They either have 1, 2, 3, or fucking a million, and I was on the million side.
Oh, I got a good story.
So yeah, we had 25 cats.
That's wow.
There's not too much of a story there, but I mean.
No, I've got a story. Once you're done, I'm just waiting for you to finish yours.
So they had we saved one cat. And that cat was, of course, pregnant because what do they do when they're pregnant? They seek out shelter, right? And they found it in the garage. Cool.
Yeah.
So we have this cat. It has a load of kittens. I think 8 kittens. They're like, all right, cool. We're going to put them all in the cardboard box. We're going to put them on our lawn, and we're going to try to give them away to people. All right. So they gave one away to somebody, and they said it was the most painful thing in the world watching that cat being taken away from its family, right? I'm sure that cat lived a wonderful life. And our cats were A-okay, right? But they were like, no, we can't possibly do this again. And then they saved another cat, and that one was pregnant. And then they saved another cat, and that one was pregnant. And 3 cats that we saved became 20. And then there were 5 in the neighborhood. And by this point, my grandmother was just like, this is who I am. This is an element. I am the fairy godmother. And so we saved the 5
I was gonna
cats.
say, I wonder how much of that was them placing human emotions on because I know like some cats they do, but other cats will just leave if their young is like sick or just not useful, they're like, fuck you, you're done. You're like, peace.
The runt of the litter dies, right? We had one cat who would drag one of the kittens away from the others and then go feed the others.
Yeah.
She would intentionally try to kill this thing by starving it.
Yeah. And so I do that's why I was like, I wonder how much of that is like how much we put emotions into the cat, but that is interesting. But yeah, 25, that's a lot. That's a lot of upkeep too.
That's frisky business, man.
Well, it consumed my grandparents' lives. I don't know how to feel about it. Like my grandfather didn't sign up for that shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like at no point was he like, yes.
He was just like, well, I'm this old. We've been in this marriage this long. I guess it's not worth the fight at this point.
Yeah, and he'll be like, hey, Carol, the cat peed on the floor again, and they'll get mad at him because he doesn't just clean it up.
Yeah, but he's like, it's not my cat. Yeah,
sign up for this at all. None of this.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, so when I moved out to LA, I at first was going to live with like my grandfather's sister, so I guess that makes her a great aunt. And I was going to live in. She had a spare room, and that made it to where it was cheaper and easier and all that. But I went there with both my parents, and the first night, so I had to. She had set up rules where I had to be in by 9, because if I didn't, the cats wouldn't come home. So like as a early 20s, I could never be out. Like I couldn't stay out past 9. I had like a probably middle school time frame, and then I had to always have my door. I couldn't close my door to my bedroom because the cats had to have free roam of the house, and so I could never. And anyway, long story short, we found a new place for me to live because I was like, I'm not living my life based off of your cat's schedule. So I mean, that's kind of like the opposite end of it, right? Like she made the choice, cats over me. And turns out, we kind of had a bit of a fight leaving, but then we ended up making up, and she would bring me fruit from her backyard, and she took me to Soup Plantation. I don't know if you've ever been to that, but it was a common restaurant in California where they go out and it's just soup. I don't know. It was a soup restaurant. I hadn't anyway. But yeah. So I don't know. That was just kind of like it was like the opposite end of the spectrum from someone who's like, eh.
That's the answer to your question. There's another person who chooses the pet, although the pet over a family member is a bit a bit wild to me. And it's not even like choose like it's
she could. I wasn't telling her to get rid of the cats.
Mild inconvenience for the cat, right? Like,
that's basically
the cat can't go in this one room, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's absurd.
The cats would have to get used to him coming home a little later. Yeah, it was a bit much. Yeah,
Why wouldn't the cats come home? Can I ask?
I guess it was like a new person in the house, so they were not as comfortable coming back until I was already inside the house or something.
My one cat, when we got them from the shelter, they're two sisters. They were right together. One of them came out and was friendly and playing with us, and the other one hid immediately, just scared as could be. Right?
Yeah.
We get them home. Do you know how long it took her to come out and like literally just get in my face and meow at me and like come cuddle with me? It took her 4 hours, right?
Huh.
For that wild change in behavior, right? It's crazy to suggest that the cat would not
adapt. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, after that one
what
night,
what happened is the cat would have peed on a few places to make sure that they're in charge.
Yeah,
and you'd be like, "Yes, you're in charge. You're in charge."
Yeah.
Okay, and then it'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting. But anyway, it was. I mean, it ended up working out really well. I ended up finding some really good dudes that I got to live with, and got some great experience. And ended up, turned out to be a much better situation for me to go live with these guys who are my age. They worked on camp. That's how I got into campus ministry. How I got the name Preacher Oren actually was from this whole process. The screen name. That's when I developed it. So I don't know. I guess good came out of it, but I don't know. Oh,
Would you like to hear how I got my screen name?
Brodacious.
Brodacious.
Well, your name's Brody.
Just a high school basketball coach was just adding Acious to the ends of people's names. And he was like, "Oh, John Acious." And they were like, "Oh, it didn't work." And then they looked at me and he was like, "Brodacious." And everybody in the crowd was like, "Oh,
it worked."
I was like, "That's it. I'm going to base my entire life online off of that immediately."
That is a very interesting community you live in. That they lost their shit when he was like,
"Oh, Brodacious."
He went through John Acious and they're like, "Ugh," and he's like, "Let me try again." Brodacious. They're like, "Oh my god, this guy is a holy oh my."
There's a class of 40 people. Like, we didn't have much to go on.
Okay, gotcha. That's fair. That's fair. Like, holy shit. Get the whiskey in the barn, boys. We're partying tonight.
Yeah, boy,
he got a new name.
And there was people in college that didn't know my real name. They would just call me Brodacious. I mean, they'd be like, "So what's your real name?" I'd be like, "Brody." They'd be like, "Really?"
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, it's such a fucking letdown, but
Brody's a fine name, It kind of fits with the bro theme that you know.
It used to be unique, but now there's Brodies everywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Hunter, that's a pretty good name. That's I would say that both Brody and Hunter strike me as being of your generation. Like you're
Yeah, my
named
mom
that are.
because she wanted me to be unique, and everywhere I went, there were other hunters. And it's
Same.
cool like that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Glad you gave me the most hick name you could think of to make me unique, and then
Oh,
The
Hunter.
spelling of mine sets me apart a bit because instead of it being D-I-E, it's D-Y. So it's B-R-O-D-Y.
Huh. I don't know that I ever thought about it being Brody being. Maybe you're right. Maybe Brody would be an IE. I never thought about it.
My grandma spells it like that and has for the past 6 years.
I apologize to the 3 people left listening. I'm sure this is riveting information. Everybody's.
Riveting.
We'd be like, Brody spelled with an IE instead of a Y.
I would have never thought of that.
I was just hearing it. I was like, we're like, Hunter, yeah, that's a name. David, that's a name. Kevin, that's a name. Me and Kevin have like the all-time like just traditional every dude name.
yes.
But all right, well
Your
in that
guys'
case,
names are like.
oh, go ahead. No, finish your sentence.
I was going to say your guys' names are transferable as middle names, though.
Well, mine is David is a middle name. My actual first name is Gordon.
What?
Yeah. So
I
you
shall
ready?
never look at
Okay.
you the same.
My grandfather
Audacious.
is Hal Gordon Littleford Jr. My dad is Hal Gordon Littleford III. My grandfather went by Hal, so my dad went by his middle name, Gordon. Well, since they named me Gordon David Littleford, I couldn't go by Gordon, so I had to go by my middle name, David. So that's how it shifted down to me. Because my dad's a third, pinky in the air, drink of teacup. You know, like, the third. Oh. My grandfather was the mayor, of the city I live in right now. He was for like 3 years. He was a mayor.
You're practically royalty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, actually, as a child, people did like know my dad and my grandfather, and like in the local area. And my grandfather was like a All-American Hall of Fame football player for the University of Tennessee when he played. So people knew like that. Like my high school coaches, some of them were the friends of my dad's, and they didn't give me any special treatment, but they did know. They knew me. They were like, "Oh, how's your dad doing?" That kind of thing. But we were never. Well, since my dad chose the life of actual like, not priesthood, but he was a pastor. But he didn't like try to rip people off for money. Like he actually preached and did stuff for other people. And we were dirt broke, man. Like we used to drive around and have a van that the sliding door wouldn't close, so we either had to hold it or we just let it go open while we drove. And I read one story. This is great. I remember because my grandmother and grandfather actually had money. Like he was an insurance salesman, did very well, right? I mean, not great, but he was doing well off, and they were very proper. And we would start up the van and it had this black smoke that would come out. We remember it chasing my grandmother as slowly as she could go into the house. Ran away from our black smoke after we visited her. She was just waddling, just going, trying to get chased by the black smoke. Oh, it was good memories, man. Yeah. I mean, I remember, God, for 3-4 months, we ate like literally just beans and rice. Like we were broke. Our family was broke. But it was because like they would not. My family as ministers would not give up on what they thought the Bible taught about being like for the people and being self-sacrificial and not taking advantage of people and just trying to get money. And so that's how and so it did pull it. It affected me because I also kind of share that a little. Like I do have I won't give up on like what I think something should be for the sake of making money. If that makes like it affected how I view streaming. I won't be fake and disingenuous for making money. I won't be, I won't change my personality or do things that I don't enjoy or like for like this podcast is what I enjoy. Is me talking with the bros, and I do it because I like it. I'm not going to, be fake and come in here with fake arguments and did you know that the United States is actually the size of Minnesota plus, whatever. And then you go, oh, no, I had no idea. I thought we spoke Portuguese in Minnesota. Oh, they're so dumb. Give us clicks. I'm not going to do that. So it's just, anyway, authenticity is very important to me, and that's where it came from. That's my grand story.
Well, you do have 4 very authentic gentlemen here.
Oh, absolutely. The most authentic. Especially that guy right there with the big old burly beard. Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Are you disingenuous, evil?
Very.
No, you're
No,
not.
no.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You just the googly bear. That's all you is.
Oh. Okay, I think this podcast has descended into madness.
No.
No. He's your big old burly boy.
Who's the best
Yeah.
podcaster?
Gonna cut him.
Who's the best
Gonna suck on
podcaster?
them big old titties. Well, we go do that.
Well, if there's a titty sucking party, invite me.
Yeah, see, I now I feel like we can end the podcast properly.
I'm good with it now.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
ready
good.
now.
I've done my job. Let me turn on the music. Anyway, love all of you. Please come back. Watch us say dumb stuff for an hour and a half again. Thank you. Mwah.